Welcome back to the I Am Passionate podcast. It's your host, Jaren Smith, and I hope you all are doing well. So, for today's episode, I'm back with another music review, and this time it'll be Baby Keem's second studio album, Casino. But before we get into that, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about two things. First, I've been doing it a little bit the last few episodes over the last month, but I think I'm going to continue with my little trend of kind of just talking about myself for a little bit, kind of just opening up a little bit. Um, I'm okay. I've been bummed out yesterday. Bummed out today, but I'm not as bummed out today as I was yesterday, if that makes sense. I am really, really excited to make this episode just because I've been listening to a lot of Baby Keem's music. And so, yeah, I'm going to try to keep the energy up, but in regards to me, I'm okay. Nights are what's difficult, and I've been talking about it as I need to talk about it, and there's just been so much on my mind lately. It's difficult. It really is. But I've been going to the gym, and that's been a very good distraction for me when I needed it to help me kind of feel productive on the days where maybe I don't have work or don't have other things to do. But the other thing I'd like to talk about is I do know that the MLB, opening day is this week. I believe it's on Wednesday. And so I was thinking, with, the opening day game or games, and then, like the team's games like the next day, I could either A, do some research, on each team, maybe let's just say pick one to two talking points about each team, then just kind of give a very naive prediction for lack of better words. Or B, I can pick 10 games that are going to happen basically this week, or let's just say between opening day or on the day that a lot of teams are going to play. I can pick 10 games, kind of have a few talking points, and then just go from there. The two teams that I'll probably almost always talk about being, the Cubs and the Sox. Um, if I had to say probably another team, I don't know. Probably just if there's any, let's just say, surprising team, or if I see, you know, like a team is maybe very popular to talk about on social media, like maybe they're doing really, really well. So yeah, I'll probably consider that. But let me know if you're interested into hearing me talk about baseball. If I do it, because at the time of this recording, it is Monday. It's about 4:30. Um, I would try to do it tomorrow or wake up early enough on Wednesday to, record that episode. I can make the script for it tomorrow and then, kind of, just go through it, like the podcast episode, like how I'm doing this one. So let me know your thoughts down below in regards to baseball. And I just want to let you know that I'm okay. And now it's time to talk about Baby Keem. So I have always been a fan of Baby Keem's music. I will say that at least in the last like year, I have been more into his music. Like I had listened to his mixtape. I believe his mixtape dropped in 2019. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but I know it's the his mixtape had the song Orange Soda on it, and that song was stuck in my head for years. And then he had his first album, I think that came out in like 2021, Melodic Blues, I believe the name of the album is. Yeah, we're gonna double check the dates real quick because I can have it pulled up. Yeah, the Melodic Blue, the album came out in 2021. The deluxe version came out in 2022, and I believe Spotify considers, you know, um, the album "Die for My B Word." Um, I'm pretty sure that's a mixtape. Let me know if I'm wrong down below. But Baby Keem's album came out just over a month ago now, and I just want to let you know that I loved it. I loved it. I think that I'm going to continue to look for albums like this just because, this was a shorter album just like when I reviewed Bruno Mars album. Like basically 11 songs, took a little over 30 minutes to listen to it, and I listened to it multiple times. Some of these songs I like literally like when I heard them once I like loved, and so like I added them to my playlist. So some of these songs I've probably listened to about 10 times by now. um but yeah, we're just gonna kind of get things started, and we're gonna start with the song "No Security." I think this is a great start to the album. I love the soulful vibe like the song brings, and like yes, the song is a sad song, but I understand that it's a reality that some people experience every day, and Yeah. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. And so the next song, Casino, which also the album has like the S in casino is a money symbol. But I wanted to say that if you're the type of person to go to a casino, this might be the song for you. I have never been to a casino, and I think, um, let's just say maybe within the next month, I will be going to a casino at least once. I will walk in with a $20 bill, and if I lose my $20, I lose my $20. But I'm not gonna withdraw money at a casino. But that's beside the point. Because let me go back to Baby Keem. Um, this song is definitely personal because like a major theme of the song, like he's making like specific references to I believe his family or people that like he's close to. I like the song No Security more, but this song is still a good song. I think if I had to say what like my favorite part of the song is, I'd say about the halfway point with the beat switches and kind of Baby Keem's flow goes in a different like direction. I'm gonna give this song a 7.5 out of 10. The third song, Birds and the Bees. I love this song. I love it. It's very, very catchy, even though that it's a toxic relationship kind of song. This was the first song, like when I was listening to it the first time. I'd say, how many times have I listened to the album as a whole from song 1 to song 11? I'd say about the same as the Bruno Mars album. I listened to it about 3 times, maybe four. Um, but yeah, I love the song. I think it being kind of like, even though the lyrics themselves are about kind of a toxic relationship, the beat, it's more like upbeat. So like to me, as I was listening to it, like I wasn't really like sad, so to speak, but I think that's just kind of a part of like the beat itself. But like if you were to separate the beat and the lyrics, like, oh yeah, like Jaren, it's kind of a sad song if you think about it. But I'm gonna say that this is a 9 out of 10. I loved it. Um, a lot of the songs in this album are kind of short, but at the same time, a lot of the songs on this album they're a little by longer. I mean, like maybe about 4 minutes. "Birds and the Bees" is one of the shorter songs on this album. So next on the list, probably the most popular song on this album, "Good Flirts," and I say probably the most popular. Um, if you go on to Spotify and you look at like you go to Baby Keem and then you go to like his most popular songs, like literally, if you were to look at his top 10, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven of his songs are basically off of this album, and "Good Flirts" is like his most popular song like at the moment. It's easily also the most popular song on this album. But the other songs that you can see on Spotify when you search up Baby Keem, his song "Family Ties" with Kendrick Lamar makes sense. His song "Orange Soda," the first Baby Keem song that I heard specifically, and his song "Honest" off of the same album slash mixtape that Orange Soda is on, and also another great song. Um, but I love what Momo Boyd brings to this song, and I think like her overall vibe really works well with Baby Keem and Kendrick. To me, this song gives me vibes of like Kendrick's song Luther with SZA. Um, it gives me vibes like it feels more like a pop hip hop song. It feels more like a hip hop song where like there's not really crazy language in this song, which, when Kendrick and SZA, won the award for like, they're performing the song like Luther, not performing, when they got the award for, I can't remember the music award, Grammy. Sorry, I just remember when they won the Grammy, and I know that they got Luther Vandross like his like sample like "When This World Is My," like the beginning of the song. Um, but yeah, that song had no cursing in it. And that is why that is my favorite song off of, Kendrick's last album. And this song kind of has that same vibe to me. Where like there's not really anything crazy said in this song. And um this I would also say is a song that I'm probably biased to. By that I mean I've always like loved love songs, even though that this is more of a song about like toxic relationships over a healthy relationship. But let me know what you think down below, kind of what I'm saying about the first few songs. Let me know what's your favorite song on Baby Keem's album if you've listened to it all the way, and let me know if you're gonna go plan to see Baby Keem at all this year. I had to have to look at all that information. I would love to go see Baby Keem if I had the chance. But We're gonna move on to House Money, which also this entire album does make a lot of casino references, which I mean it makes sense. Um, and I think this song being right after, the song Good Flirts was a great idea because this song, I feel like it kind of builds off Good Flirts. Like it shows like the signs of like trust issues with kind of just everyone while like, you have like when you make it like big, there's like pressure when you're like being so successful, especially so quickly. And so like that only makes those trust issues even more of a factor for someone. And Baby Keem makes it quite obvious that how much that this is like impacted maybe not just him, but how it can impact other people. I like Kendrick's verse more in Good Flirts, but I do think that his verse helped add on to the trust issues that Baby Keem kind of talked about in this song. Um, I'm looking at my overall rating for this song. I kind of want to change it because originally I was gonna rate this song a 7.5 out of 10. I think I'm gonna move it to an 8 out of 10. We'll say it can kind of range from 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Another song I really, really liked off this album, I would say this is probably the second, maybe the third song that I added was I Am Not a Lyricist. I posted a song on my, like, this was the first song I posted on my social media about this, album. I loved the song. Um, I relate to this song a lot because I feel like this song kind of shows Baby Keem as like he has a different approach to how he makes his music, not even like just as a musician, but also as a rapper. And I feel like this song is him like accepting like who he is, accepting his own style rather than pretending to be someone or have like that he isn't. And I think why I relate to this song is especially with how the last month has gone for me. I think that, I'm not I don't want to pretend to be someone that I'm not. I'm Jaren. I'm a, kind person, I'm a smart, intelligent person, and I don't want to change for, anyone. I'm gonna say that I Am Not a Lyricist is a 9.5 out of 10. The next song, Sex Appeal, with the S, being a money symbol. This song is very, very catchy, which I really, really do like. But here's the thing. I think this song on this album, it doesn't really fit like the other ones do, in my opinion. I feel like yes, this song is definitely, like, yeah, go out, have a good time, that sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like the other songs, you were a bit more soulful, had a heartfelt vibe, while this one, it's definitely a bit more of like a confident song. It's almost like in the other songs, Baby Keem was a bit more vulnerable, a bit more honest, while this song, basically it's a confidence builder kind of song, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, I just think that, as I've listened to it, each time, I was like, doesn't it doesn't like hit the same for me like the other songs do. Like the vibes that this song gives me just are completely different than the other songs because it just is, to me it's just a completely different kind of song. Like it's still a great song. I'm not going to dispute that. I think just the reason why it's my least favorite on this album is because it's just so much different than the other songs. Maybe a part of it, maybe I'm biased in saying that because I don't relate to it like I relate to other songs. And for those of you who either A, have been in a car with me or just know my music taste in general, I do love music that I can relate to in some shape and or form, or I love if I can take away something from the song, and like apply it to my own life. But I'm gonna say this song is a 7 out of 10. The next song is Highway 95 Part 2. It goes right back to the heartfelt vibe. I may not relate to this song personally because the song is a lot about the struggles that Baby Keem would have had growing up, but I do understand, like like I understand, like other people around the, world, they're people who are not as fortunate as, I have been throughout my life to growing up the way that I have. And I know that there's other people, even just where I live, that will probably say that I wish, I had some of the things that I have. And I'm not trying to abuse my good fortune. I'm not trying to abuse that privilege. I'm just understanding that I understand that there are people out there that struggle. I understand that. Um, and about this song, I love that this song is like the beat itself is more on the upbeat side. I say that because I feel like it helps the lyrics hit home a little bit more. At least it does for me. Um, I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know what you think about this song. Next, Circus Circus Freestyle, which my genuine question for all of you like music fans out there, whether it's a rapper or someone else, but I mostly notice this on rap albums where there will be the occasional song that has the word freestyle in the name. So what I'm gonna ask is a freestyle a song? Or is it just someone paying tribute to a song? Like for example, Juice WRLD has some amazing freestyles over popular songs. Um, the Baby has had some freestyles that went trending. Which so like is that itself a song or is it just a freestyle? But regardless, just considering this song as just music, there's another thing to listen to on this album. I love everything about this song. I love the lyrics. I love the beat. And the beats, like when the beat switched, oh my god, I was getting hyped. Like every time I listened to it, I just was getting hyped. And I think that this song was smartly placed on the album just because I feel like it built off of the vibe that, Highway 95 Part 2 brings. I'm going to say that this is an 8 out of 10. So moving on to Dramatic Girl. I don't think it's going to be a surprise to anyone. This is my favorite song on the album. I love the beat. I love the overall vibe of the song. It just makes me feel happy, which over the last month, some days it's been pretty easy for me to be happy. Other days, I'm like, man, just today's not it. I don't want to leave my bed. But every time I listen to this song, I'm just happy. And I definitely will say that this is my favorite Baby Keem song. Like, if I had the chance to see Baby Keem, this is the number one song I would hope that he would play. I relate to the song the most, easily. I've learned a lot about myself as I've listened to this song a lot. Um, and I think that, the hook of the song, there's more than one way you should love me. Um, that can be applied to anyone. Because love is just a very powerful thing, as we all know. I'm going to say that this song is a 10 out of 10. The final song is No Blame. And this album as a whole, from song 1 to song 10, filled with stories of toxic relationships and struggles. Um, I would say Dramatic Girl is not really of that toxic relationship and struggles to an extent. Like maybe I would say Dramatic Girl is like struggling to understand love. Um, but I would say despite this album having a lot of toxic relationships and struggles like throughout it, Baby Keem is choosing to forgive his mother. Um, and Baby Keem, like with his background, it's a very powerful song, and I think it's a perfect way to end this album to go from talking about all these toxic relationships, talking about all the struggles that you went through, and despite all that, you still have the ability to forgive the people in your past. And this song just made me think that just life is just too short. Um, and I don't want to live my life, like with like the regrets like man I could have handled certain things differently. Like I so like how Baby Keem is forgiving his mother, I would want to live my life being able to have forgiveness for people in my life, regardless of if it's forgiveness from someone today, 15 years from now, or even toward the end of my life, which hopefully the end of my life is like 70 years from now. I'm gonna give this song a 9.5 out of 10. I was already a fan of Baby Keem's music before, um, and I'm sure that's gonna surprise some people because I would say most people would probably say, Jaren, I'd never really seen you listen to Baby Keem, or Jaren, I'm surprised you're even doing a podcast episode on Baby Keem. I would just say that's something just like I think everybody has their kind of like more like low key tastes. Like I wouldn't say I was a die like before this. I wouldn't say I was a diehard Baby Keem fan. Like if I was to like I'm driving to work and then one of his songs came on, then like yeah, I'm gonna vibe to it. Um, but I would say that this has definitely made me like more of a fan. By more of a fan, I mean like whenever he releases stuff in the future, I'm gonna try to listen to it day one. If he ever performs at Lollapalooza, I hope to be there. Um, and yeah, is this my favorite album I've reviewed? I'm not 100% sure. Like, even if I was to take the overall rankings out of like the equation, because But I would definitely say, if I had to say what albums I've reviewed on the podcast that are my favorite, it's either between Bruno Mars' album and Baby Keem's. I'm going to give this album a 9 out of 10, and we will see how some of my opinions on this album change. But that's pretty much it for the Baby Keem episode. I just want to let you all know again that I am okay, and I will be okay. I will continue to be okay, and I will continue to grow and become an even better version of myself. And let me know if you were interested in hearing me talk a little bit about baseball. Because I had the one episode a few weeks ago, and yes, I'm aware of how the World Baseball Classic, ended up, what like the results were. But if you're interested in hearing me talk about some baseball, leave me a comment down below. And I just want to thank you all for listening to this episode of the I Am Passionate podcast. It's your host, Jaren Smith, and I'll see you all next time.